This question is definitely a tricky question. Megaloblastic anemia is the side effect of which drug? See, there are two types of macrocytic anemia. Megaloblastic macrocytic, non-megaloblastic macrocytic. Examiner has picked up at least one from the non-megaloblastic but macrocytic and then framed it in the option with a desire to see that you do the mistake. So that's the reason, of course, enough number of people have mistaken. So macrocytic megaloblastic anemia, what are all the causes? OCP, stramtrine, methotrexate, phenytoin, trimidone, sulfasalazine, pentamidine, vitamin B12 related changes like omeprazole, such drugs can lead to macrocytic megaloblastic anemia. Whereas the methotrexate also comes in the group of macrocytic non-megaloblastic also. But what is important is this acyclovir and azathioprine and 6-mercaptopurine, that is these purine antagonists are there, no? So these four drugs, azathioprine, which we use for immunosuppression in a patient who has got systemic lupus erythematosus, acyclovir, which we commonly use in the case of the herpes, if there is any temporal encephalitis with herpes, acyclovir can be used. So purine antagonists and pyrimidine antagonists typically lead to a non-megaloblastic anemia which is of macrocytic nature. So that is the reason, doctor, among these options given, acyclovir becomes the answer because it leads to a macrocytic but a non-megaloblastic anemia is what I want to underscore. Whereas the lamivudine, methotrexate, flucytosine, all these things leads to macrocytic and also megaloblastic anemia. So if you still have some time to tuck in your mind, you can go through the list. But don't worry, unless you are a veteran fighter, you won't remember all these minor things. At least as a physician who writes prescription day in and day out, I don't remember all this. But for teaching you, I prepared the whole night. That's the reason I remember it today morning. So don't worry about such questions. But unfortunately, they are the ones which are the eliminating questions sometimes. Okay. So once more, another list has come. Raynaud's phenomena. What systemic diseases, what drugs lead to the development of the Raynaud's phenomena? I could not find an answer for this. Because bleomycin, cisplatin, vinca alkaloids. You go through any textbook, all the three things will cause. Once more I thought, maybe vincristin, vinblastine, there must be some difference. There is some difference in vincristin, vinblastine for one adverse effect. What is that? Bone marrow toxicity is seen with vinblastine, CNS toxicity is seen with vincristin. C for CNS, B for bone marrow. But vincristin and also vinblastine, enough number of reports are there that they both cause the Raynaud's phenomena. That's the reason, benefit of doubt, this question must be given a correct mark for everyone. So let us quickly talk, doctor, what are the autoimmune diseases where Raynaud's phenomena is seen? Systemic sclerosis, systemic lupus erythematosus. What is that? CREST syndrome, calcinosis, Raynaud's phenomena, esophageal dysmotility, and telangiectasis and sclerodactyly need to be basically remembered. And what is the complication of scleroderma, doctor? If you found in a young female with scleroderma presenting with shortness of breath, a loud P2 is auscultated. Pulmonary hypertension is one of the important final cause of the death in the patient's young female. Totally the skin has become shiny, she has become little obsolete in the eye of her spouse. So finally she has come with a lot of dyspnea. You need to be very consoling to her, to feel for that loud P2, start the calcium channel blockers, probably they can help the pulmonary hypertension because of the vasospasm is what need to be remembered. Now does Mycoplasma pneumonia cause community acquired pneumonia, doctor? Very much it will cause. Let's go to the next question. What is the drug of choice for the Mycoplasma pneumonia? So definitely it causes the community acquired pneumonia. It is the smallest known free-living microorganism ever known. Cold agglutination is the test which is basically used, in which it will show grains of sand-like appearance on the glass portion of the tube. So these are the typical fried egg colonies that you see in the case of the Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma has got one phenomena called cytoadherence. It has got a lot of love for the ciliated epithelial cells of the respiratory epithelium is what need to be remembered. It causes atypical pneumonia. Then what is typical pneumonia? How is it different? Radiologically it is also different. In the case of the regular pneumonia, there is a dense defined area of the inflammation. For example, pneumococcal pneumonia is there. This kind of pattern you can see. Whereas in the case of the atypical pneumonia caused by the Mycoplasma, there will be diffuse patchy inflammation throughout the lung that will be present. In a butterfly effect it is called as, is what you see in the case of the Mycoplasma. Tell me 4 important conditions where Mycoplasma is involved, doctor. Gulf War syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome. Some of the reports say rheumatoid arthritis and malignancy also, mycoplasma is associated, one of the favorite questions of the examiner. Which is the viral etiology involved in the carcinogenesis. One of the important agents is the mycoplasma is something that should not be forgotten. Now let's go to the next question. What's the gene for the apoptosis? BCL2 should not be basically forgotten, doctor. Where does the BCL2 come in the apoptosis? Once there is a signal for the cell death, the BCL2 will cause the cytochrome C to become released from the mitochondria. Cytochrome C release will lead to activation of what are called as the caspases. Caspases will cause the cleavage of the cellular substrates, and that will be initiating the apoptosis, which involves what four important features of the apoptosis, doctor, which you should not forget? DNA fragmentation, nuclear disintegration, chromatic condensation. They are the three sign par excellence of the apoptosis which should not be forgotten. So BCL2 is the one which is involved. So what are the other changes in the case of the apoptosis, doctor? Chromatin condensation and the cell shrinkage, membrane blubbing, nuclear collapse, apoptotic body formation, and finally the lysis of the apoptotic bodies is the whole cycle of the apoptosis. Any of these can be a potential MCQ. Where do you see membrane blubbing, liquefactive necrosis or apoptosis? If the examiner asks you tomorrow, your answer is apoptosis. Now what is the sure shot sign of malignancy? It metastasis means it is malignancy. What are the two exceptions, doctor? Basal cell carcinoma and glioma are the two malignancies. Though they are malignant, they do not metastasize is what it remembered. Can you tell me what is this feature that you are seeing? One of the features of the malignancy? Nuclear pleomorphism. Some nuclei are small, some nuclei are big, some nuclei are small. So nuclear pleomorphism, but not every tumor need not, though malignant, need to show the nuclear polymorphism. Now, which is not a B cell lymphoma, doctor? Mycosis fungoides, which is basically a T cell lymphoma. So you can see these are all standard questions. I mean, that does not require much of much of cerebral cortex. Coolly you can answer in the exam. Remember, 180 questions you should not have if you are connected to the treadmill test. While you are writing exam, you should not have any changes at all. And if you are connected to the EEG, you must have those typical alpha waves going on slowly. Alpha or beta? Which is awake, which is sleep? Beta awake. And alpha is sleep, right? So you must have full alpha activity while you are writing exam. For every question you need not excite. Hurray, this is AP entrance. It comes only once in a year. If not this year only, next Pushkar I am getting ready. All such things, leave it, doctor, leave at home and go. Like a surgeon with a lion's heart, with the what you call lady's finger, with the eagle's eye. You must be able to write the entrance bravely. If not for the detachment people, though they prepared very well, finally last 2 days diarrhea syndrome, for the demotivation syndrome, all these are created by ourselves. Please remember, if we get the seed, the world doesn't stop. If we don't get the seed, the world doesn't break. That should be the rule, okay? And you have prepared very well with all the stock topics in your tips. No force in the world can stop you, please remember. So let's go to the next question, B-cell lymphomas. So this is a typical mycosis fungoides with the Sézari's appearance, typically cutaneous involvement of the T-cell lymphoma should not be basically forgotten. So this cutaneous T-cells should not be basically forgotten. Now I like to ask a question. What are those typical cells that you find in the mycosis fungoides called, doctor? Sézary-Lutzner cells is something that you should not forget. They are basically the CD4 antigen positive T helper cells, and a typical distribution of them. That is, they are like the band-like aggregates within the superficial dermis, and they form what are called the Potrier's microabscesses. Abscess does not mean pus-filled place. Histologically it is an abscess. It's a microabscess called Potrier's microabscesses, which form because of a band-like aggregation of these inflammatory cells in the dermis is what need to be remembered. One more important thing is the nuclear membranes of these Sézary-Lutzner cells will be convoluted. Just like the brain has got the gray and sulci leading to the convulsions, no? So it's called a cerebriform contour of the nucleus of the Sézary-Lutzner cells of the mycosis fungoides should not be basically forgotten. So mycosis fungoides can have a patch phase, it can have a plaque phase, it can have a tumor phase. So all these phases need to be basically at least remembered for the sake of general knowledge. So let's go to the next question. What is McNaughton rule? If I am thinking that this time I am not going to get the seat, you can go and kill your fellow who is going to get the seat. You can plead that I was very insane, I was thinking my roommate is going to get the seat, hence for me to get the seat, the only option left for me is to kill that fellow and then do that. That is not McNaughton's rule. So it says that a person cannot be made responsible for homicide if during the homicide, if he can prove that he was not mentally intact is what need to be remembered. Female pelvis versus male pelvis, a favorite question of what you call Vijayawada, air will be touching your cheek once you come across this question, doctor, because classical University of Health Sciences question this is. So please remember, female pelvis is basically born to bear the baby and deliver him one day. Hence it is wider, shallower, has got a larger superior and inferior apertures, and it has got ischial tuberosities which are usually farther. This tuberosity is farther from the other. It has got a broader sacrum typically, and it has got a wider pubic angle. This is called pubic angle, which is very wider. In the case of the male pelvis, it is much more narrower, is what need to be remembered. Similarly, if you take the sacrum, typically the sacrum is much more flatter, so that it increases the diameter of the birth canal, and the ischial spines will not be projecting enthusiastically into the pelvic cavity. There will be space in the outside, because that space need to be given for the baby. Whereas in the case of the males, the ischial spines will be projecting much more prominently into the pelvic cavity is what need to be remembered. And the subpubic angle, this angle is wider, about 90 degrees is what need to be remembered. Whereas the male pelvis is much more deeper, and it is smaller pelvic apertures, it is much more massive, and the sciatic notches typically are deep and narrow. The superior aperture typically is a heart-shaped. Probably the men lose the heart more commonly, because you can remember this heart and that heart also. And acetabula will be facing laterally, and obturator foramens are round instead of being oval, is what need to be remembered as the major differences. That's the reason. What is the answer, doctor? The suprapubis angle is not obtuse, it is much more acute is what need to be remembered. Let's go to the next question. Carbon monoxide poisoning is basically suggested by the cherry red blood color. And the coma with pinpoint pupils is not seen in barbiturates. Barbiturates lead to dilated pupil is what need to be remembered. A female is hung, and what is the definite sign of hanging, doctor? The ligature mark. Physical quality of life index does not include per capita income. As such, income is not everything about quality of life. But honestly speaking, the money is definitely the seventh sense, doctor, probably. 5 senses are over, 6th is also over. That is your intuition and hunch. 7th is definitely the money, because you require the 7th sense to enjoy the remaining 6 senses, is what our Upanishad said. So, but anyway, epidemiologists did not believe that. So let's go to the next question. Which of the following does not suggest under 5 care in community, doctor? Tetanus does not suggest, all the remaining things. Infant mortality, 1 to 4 mortality and all these things. Antenatal support is not given by the traditional birth attendant Dai. She is only coming into picture when the delivery is there to cut the umbilical stump with a clean topaz blade. Otherwise, if she is also given this antenatal support, probably she will earn better, right? So, spectrum of IDD does not include. They are hypoactive, not hyperactive is what need to be remembered.